Please welcome Aaron, the current Mazkir.
Morning, everyone. Hope everyone's well. Goeiemorgen, boker tov. So my name is Aaron Kruss van de Heever. Sorry, Stephen. And yeah, it truly is my privilege to be standing here before each and every single one of you. The briefing I was tasked with today was to speak about what Habonim looks like today, and although it is my outgoing term, what Habonim is going to look like tomorrow and in the future. In order to do this, I thought I'd tell a story of something that happened to me just in this week, or 5 days in which I've been in Israel for my third time in my life, Baruch Hashem. And I think what the story is going to do is it's really going to act in highlighting one thing that underpins everyone's experience in Habonim, and I think underpins our Jewish people as a whole. And that's going to be connection and memory. So I arrived here on Saturday via Cairo. I can recommend Air Egypt for anyone wondering. And I was thrust into a series of conferences preceding my Mazkirim seminar with Habonim Dror. And despite a series of political disruptions and challenges, the world movement is still alive and well. I joined delegates from Uruguay, Mexico, Belgium, North America, the United Kingdom, Australia, and the Netherlands to discuss what it means to be part of something bigger and to learn about each other's challenges and progress and connect with people at a similar age to myself, unlike Thursday and Friday and Wednesday. And what they do is they do the same thing as me, but they do it in a different community with a different language and a different set of guidelines for hadracha and their tochniot and all of these kind of things. And during this seminar, we traveled up to Kibbutz Degania. Is there anyone in the audience from there? Yeah. A round of applause for them. But yeah, so Kibbutz Degania is the first kibbutz. And to take in the rich culture and past of a place which laid down so much progress for Eretz Yisrael as a whole was really, really a true pleasure for myself. Habonim has and will forever be linked with the idea and the history of the Chalutzim and promoting our members to make Aliyah, to work the motherland, and to create a strong and virtuous society within it. And that's a responsibility that many of the individuals sitting here today, you took upon yourself when you were about my age, still in the movement. So I'm very grateful for that. And it was there where I managed to serendipitously stumble upon like a green thumb, a gardener, and was very invested in which nations were at the seminar. And eventually, after hearing that I was from South Africa, he introduced himself. He said his name was Idan, and he was the son of a shaliach, which was in Johannesburg around the time of the 50th reunion. And he really was left in awe when I managed to recount his father's surname and his father's trademark bushy chest and frankly outrageous sideburns. And that was Uzi Ben Shalom, shaliach for 79 and 80. And then I was fortuitously able to provide him with a video clip of our very own Stephen Pincus with a lot more hair on national television during his time on Mazkir, and where he was featuring and showing off what Habonim really does and what it looked like in those days. And I think, again, that was my place to create a connection by using memory, and I truly, truly was grateful to do that. This iconic TV excerpt has become a running callback in the Johannesburg Ken, as I'm sure Brad and Hannah and Daniel can recount. And it really was screened as an icebreaker, to be honest, in one of our Friday night Bogram meetings, and has become an instant hit ever since. I think it was enjoyed so much by just how little has changed since then. We still sit in lines and sing songs and debate and discuss. I think one thing that has changed, though, is haircuts and facial hair. But like I said, I consider myself a chalutz, rather, in the revival thereof. So yeah, these days, Friday night meetings, or FNMs, as they're colloquially known, are a key facet in Habonim life. It's a space for our Bogrim to socialize, to connect, to debate, to laugh at the end of a long week, which enables us to cultivate a learned, motivated, and cohesive Bogrim body in a time where personal life distractions are at a high, mental health is at a low, and there's a constant pre-ordering of where Habonim lies in one stack of priorities in their lives. Game shows, skits, current affairs, quizzes, Shikespeare imitations, and a lot more. These have honestly been the highlight of my week since I was granted passage to them half a decade ago as a Shomrim Chanich. I think any Shabbat that I have would truly, truly feel incomplete without them, and so I'm overjoyed that I'm able to tie Habonim into my fulfillment at every level, educationally, socially, and spiritually as well, when that time of the week rolls around. Throughout my Habonim career, these meetings have unfortunately been the only weekly scheduled programming. I know many of you still ask me telephonically or by email, what happened to the Sunday Chanich meetings, Chanicha meetings, and unfortunately these are no more. I think that was a decision made well before my time. I'm unsure if it's something that we could ever successfully revive. But yeah, I think it should be the job of all of us as Chaverim here and as ex-members to accept the natural order that things change. Things fade, things grow stronger, they come back, they fade again, and whether that's in leadership or in the movement altogether. But what I can be assured is that the Hadracha skills gained by the Madrichim, as well as the things learned and connections made by their Chanichim of years past, have had a positive ripple effect on the very fabric of Habonim itself. I mean, I'm sure if you look around the room, you could very easily recount and recall very vividly who your Madis were on these Sunday meetings, and I think that really is a blessing for us to all keep in mind. In the aforementioned clip, I want to speak about it at a bit more depth. I wish I could show some of it now. Stephen sums up the operational framework of Habonim, and he does so as follows. He reminds us that we are the builders, Habonim, and that we have a responsibility to build. And he says we should do this by developing young people's characters, by working and building a better society in which to live in, and by working on the building of the Jewish state and the Jewish people. And I think this mission statement is one that even myself to this day identifies with very, very strongly, and I hope that come the end of my term, I'll be able to look back and that I addressed each of those with the respect and the care and the nurturing that they deserve. Development of character is done by creating positive and authentic relationships with our Chanichim. And then once we've done that, we can strengthen these with the help of our foolproof educational style, which was developed by people sat here, right here today, and by our currently expertly trained Madruchim. For Madruchim to do this, these days we have a thing called April Seminar, as well as ongoing Adrucha development throughout the year to ensure that our Habonim Dror Southern Africa is the pedigree of informal education in South Africa and arguably worldwide as a whole. Currently, I would say that our next priority would be the building of the Jewish state and its people. Habo today strives to create conscientious individuals that are influenced by progressive interpretations and applications of Jewish values, while also ensuring that our members get to grapple and comprehend our constitutionally, historically, and culturally mandated understanding of Zionism, as well as their feelings towards the state itself and our people. Our 3-week Shor Hashem trip for Sairim Chanichim, as Wayne said, our continuous stream of Shen HaChshara programs, participants, and our contributions to our local Jewish spaces and communities go a long way to show just how centrally important these values are to our Habonim today. Stephen aptly describes how we achieve his mission statement by stating, we do this by creating an educationally and socially stimulating environment. I'm overjoyed that a mere 33 days from the beginning of Agard for Machane HaShiva Baita, homecoming, it's now our chance to take ownership of such an environment. And I will not rest until I ensure that as many Jewish children as I can reach have the same chance to come to connect with one another, and make lifelong memories. This is also on the dawn of a 60th anniversary of our onerous campsite, so I'd like a round of applause for that. Very, very special. Thanks to Errol Anstey and many others for their constant preservation and work and development of the campsite. It doesn't go unnoticed. But I mean, at the end of the day, are you all, each and every one of you, maybe not in Onrus, maybe in Paris, maybe in Ichibe, maybe here, maybe there, maybe Harare, aren't you here today just because of that exact same privilege, to be on a campsite with fellow Chanichim, to connect with them and create memories with your Madrichim and your Chanichim. Exactly. Teenagers and preteens today are unfortunately on a vastly complicated and nuanced demographic. And I think they require the utmost nurturing in order to fast-track the developmental shunting caused by the pandemic. Unfortunately, they couldn't comprehend things like head that we had to kind of keep us on our toes, keep us on the derech, and keep us engaged with each other and engaged with things that really matter in this world. Our Borgrim body has the opportunity from the very ground up instill Habonim values, culture, and traditions into an entire new generation. And of course, this is no doubt a challenge, but this is a challenge that I think I relish. I think Alex relishes it, I think Bryn relishes it, I think Daniel, Lior, Hannah, Brad, Sasha, all of the young people in this room, I think we all are really up for this fight, and I don't think we're going to rest until it's over. The onus falls on us to really be the bearers of the torch, to inspire a relatively unknown and youthful phenomenon into understanding the gravity of going through a youth movement and taking the time out of their days to learn about themselves and to learn about others. I thank all of you who took the time to inspire and take interest in me over Mini Kaleidoscope over the last 2 days, as well as those who still plan on doing today. I'll be around. Don't hesitate to come up, shake my hand, give me a hug, all of that. It is incredibly motivating to know that we have a worldwide network of people who have stood where I stand now, that have the thoughts that I have now, and that have faced the faceless and formless challenges of their time in Habonim. I think as a web of mostly left-leaning people in a world we are increasingly battling the shifting status quo, we have a responsibility to create shutfut and partnerships with one another and our local movement which ties us all together. We cannot ever face a reality where memories are for nothing, and we can no longer exist, and there no longer exists a space and a future for us to make more. Just like when I was 6,598 kilometers under Ganya from our Johannesburg Bayit, or 7,632 kilometers from my childhood home in Cape Town, we are able to create connections through memory. And I don't think anything will encapsulate Habonim Dror today than the idea that to get anywhere, we need to be constantly oscillating between the past and the future. I think in the spirit of the fading South African spirit and legacy, or Southern African spirit and legacy of Habonim, which I've been very happy to observe be expertly honored over the last couple of days by the Zimbabweans and others, I'd actually like to end the speech with an additional greeting, an additional ending to a normal Habonim one, similarly to Stephen. So yeah, Aluta continua, the struggle continues, Chazak ve'ematz, aleva Hashem. Thank you.